What's up, everybody? It's CJ from Handigraphs once again, and I'm here to introduce a new feature that we just released called EdgeCenter. So when you log in, you'll still be going to GameCenter as your default view. You click up here and you'll be brought to EdgeCenter, and EdgeCenter is really just a place to help summarize all of the best insights and matchup advantages that you're going to get from each individual game in GameCenter. So still go to the individual games that you have in the cards in Game Center if you want to cap a specific game. But if you just want to get an understanding of what are some good leans, some areas, some players to look at across the entire slate, EdgeCenter is going to be your place to go. So the first thing you'll see when you log in and get into EdgeCenter is the watch list. The watch list takes those different insights and data that we feed the model every day, and it's going to give a list of bets that are worth doing some more research. Just going to emphasize that. Do more research on these. This is not necessarily saying go bet this because we don't have a price, at least yet, fed to this. So when you come in, it'll give a list of different bets for teams and games, such as team total, overs and unders, money line, puck line, game totals, over unders. You'll go into goalies as well. And then skaters, it will give you some suggested different types of bets that you can make. What's really cool is that when you click into the magnifying glass for any one of these, you'll actually be brought to that individual player, individual team, game, already pre-filtered for you. So if you see that as a pick, you want to start kind of investigating, hey, I want to go and see Swayman's home versus away splits to kind of validate this. It'll be brought there right in the goalies tab or wherever the relevant prop would be. And if you want to obviously clear that, use the clear all button, and you can go and kind of keep clicking these different ones to bring you to different filters. So that's the watch list. The next section you're going to see here that will always be open when you come to the page is the quick alerts. Quick alerts is going to give you information such as who's on a back-to-back, who are the teams that are top 10 in goals scored and top 10 in goals allowed in their last 10 games, who are the teams that are bottom 10 in goals allowed and bottom 10 in goals scored in their last 10 games. That is surging and sliding using the same criteria that we use for momentum within the Game Center. You'll also see what are the games that we expect a lot of volume, just shots on goal in their last 10. And then schedule pressure, which is going to be which are teams that are playing their third game in 4 nights, their fourth game in 6 days. Good, insight to have in case you want to factor in rest into any one of these. So that's the quick alerts section. The next section you'll see is the skater fades. This one is going to have quite a bit. It's only focused today on undershot on goal props. So there may be under points or, not to score, but undershots on goal is a pretty standard market that you'll see across many books. So it's just going to give you a list of all the players who have pretty good, in terms of matchups for not allowing a lot of shots on goal and have also been not shooting as much in their last 5 games. So that's what this list is going to take through here. You'll see, again, quite a bit of players. Nice thing to add potentially to some SGPs if you want to kind of take that information there. Goalie Insights is our page here that you can click through, which it's going to give you pretty much every goalie that's going to be part of that given slate. And then it's going to give recommended props or areas for you to look into. So some of these you may only see one. I think, for example, Bobrovsky, the only one that looks valuable today is the goals against over. But as you can see, there's other ones here that we'll note, goals against under, saves under, and then you'll give a quick blurb as to why. So this is factoring in the goals saved above expected. So we do actually look at the expected goal as a metric to drive a lot of these in terms of the goals, at least goals allowed over and unders. So just keep that in mind. It's based on a model that we have. Always, again, if you want to go and look at any of these to validate yourself, click that magnifying glass and you are brought to that goalie. You'll come back here. A couple other spots or cards that I wanted to quickly highlight is the get right spots. Nothing on the card today. This is really just meant for if you find a team that typically has been really good. I think Anaheim was actually in one of these a couple of days ago where they're very good team by season averages. They haven't been playing well, but they're potentially playing a team that is due to regress, or a team they have a good, rest advantage or a home away split advantage. So that's really what this looks here. Nothing here to see today. You're not usually going to see a lot of teams that fit in this, but it is kind of interesting in terms of if you can kind of buy low on a generally pretty good team. Zone dominance goes into which of these teams that are, at the title says, dominating in the zone, which are the ones that are getting a lot of possession, are able to control the puck, and get a lot of pressure on their opponents. So this will give you a list of all of those skaters. It'll also point out what kind of dominance in the zone they've had. So is it shots on goal? Is it Corsi? Is it high danger shots? Fenwick is also part of this too that you'll see. It doesn't look like any of these have a major advantage there, but it's really just looking at what are the skaters and the teams that are quite good in, for example, Corsi against a team that's bad in Corsi. We use top 12 in how good they are versus a bottom 12 team if they're going to qualify for this section. So everything on EdgeCenter, which is great, is based on the individual matchup. So it's not just looking at, is this a really good team, and not factoring in who they're playing. Every single one of these cards will look at who they are playing in terms of deciding which is going to be displayed. Power play. Pretty straightforward. Which of the power plays, which of these teams are very good in power play and which of these teams are very bad in penalty kill. So you can go and take a look at that. This is just some potential power play opportunities that you can try and find through here. Venue mismatches. So this is just going to be where you look at teams that they play better at home or even potentially play better on the road and against a team that plays worse on the road. So just gives you a slight advantage or how well that team will play. The plus, for example, 0.87 here, that's just the expected goals for that given team at home versus the opponent that is away. So we're only looking at expected goals. That's what those numbers mean here. But again, it just kind of gives you an idea of, hey, this team's playing at home. They're playing against a team that doesn't necessarily play as well at home. You're going to have a advantage. You will see a lot of teams typically populate in here because just in general, most home splits are going to be better, but I think I would look more at like what is the difference potentially in some of these. So, if you look at, for example, actually that San Jose one is a pretty good one, 0.87 more goals per game, while Dallas 1.23 less. It's a decent delta and expected goals that you would have per game. So San Jose, to me, as I'm reading this, maybe Carolina also are going to be the two that I am thinking about. And then the last section here is the luck factor. So the luck factor is factoring in a thing called PDO, and PDO is really just how well is this team playing on 5v5 situations in terms of controlling offense and playing good defense. We'll have more information on this, by the way, in our Legend and on the Learn site too. But it's focusing on teams that have a delta in their last 10. So it seems like they're kind of playing a little bit above their skis in terms of season average, and teams that have been playing below what their season average is in this area. Again, only really focused on 5v5 for this, but this is good because 5v5 is going to make up the majority of the time of the game, excluding penalties and overtime and shootouts. So these are the teams that you might have an idea to get a bounce back, and the teams that might be, playing a little bit too hot and they could be due for some regression. And as always, one more time, I'll show you here. Click that little magnifying glass and it will take you over there. So really excited about this new feature. We're going to have a lot more that we're bringing in and adding into EdgeCenter, but looking forward to getting feedback on everybody that uses it, and I'll catch you around later.